Welcome to the Arena Bowl at the Langley Event Center, the BC Boys AA third place game. We're in the medal rounds here on TFSETV.ca. The 11 seed St. Michael's University School Blue Jags, coached as always by the inimitable Ian Hydley, and the Sa Hali Sabres, coached by Dean Mazurowski. The starters for St. Michael's: Tristan Kuhn, Ken Wang, the 12th grader, gets the start. Ty Olenek, Carter Fry, and Jinwoo Park, another 12th grader, with the start. For the Sabres, it's Jadian Smith, Jalen Nunn, Luis Kajwenko, Kaido Futema, and Caleb Wilson. Kuhn the steal, the ball fake, and the finish. And we're underway here, 2-0 the score. St. Michael's leads. I'm Max Sussman. With me is Zach Griffin. Zach, scouting report on the Sa Hali Sabres. We saw them give Charles Hayes everything they could handle last night.
They pushed Charles Hayes as far as they could possibly go as Caleb Wilson gets called for the travel. A mastermind of a defensive strategy to try and take out Liam McChesney by head coach Dean Mazurowski. They came as close as you could possibly imagine without actually beating them. The final score was 8 points, but it was like they had a lead in the fourth quarter.
They were up by 1 at one point before Charles Hayes turned it on. How did they do it, though?
A lot of it was just, you have to take the ball away from Liam McChesney. They were leaving players open to just a double team him before he even got the ball. Very similar to the old Tony Allen against the Warriors strategy. It was a masterclass, just came up a little bit short down the stretch. The Sa Hali team, very well coached, and has got a very solid roster to work with.
Wilson for Kajwenko down low, fouled. It'll be on Parker Wang. That's on Ken Wang, his first. And you want to talk about a well-coached team, St. Michael's University School, 12-21 on the season, will finish no lower than 4th. As Ian Hydley got this team into the semifinals with a total point differential of +4. Those are coaching wins, both one-possession games.
And then that plus-minus kind of took a hit yesterday in their semifinal game.
Yeah, George Elliott really ran up the score there. That's your finals matchup. That's at 3:45. Charles Hayes, a lot of people think is the best team in the province, up against the George Elliott Coyotes. I got there. Kuhn, ball fake over Smith, no good. Jadian Smith, the rebound. He had a 30-rebound game in the quarterfinals and a double-double with 6 blocks against Charles Hayes last night.
Well, so much of what their strategy revolved around the shot blocking and the interior defense of what Jadian Smith can provide. He challenged McChesney. He went at him, met him at the rim a few times, got the better of McChesney on a couple of occasions. Was just fouled out late in the stretch, and that was really kind of what sealed the deal for Charles Hayes in that game.
I think he blocked his shot twice. He had the third one where he swatted the dunk at the rim, but he got called for the foul on the body. Smith, I think, an easy pick for the all-tournament team this season. Sa Hali as well can really shoot it with Caleb Wilson and Ty McCall and Kaido Futema, all gunners for this squad. Ty Olenek, if you're just joining us in this tournament, no relation to Kelly. I definitely thought so, because how many Oleniks can there be? Kaido Futema kicks it out. Nunn likes to drive and kick. Wilson's the gunner. His 3, short, or long rather, the opposite of what I said. And Zach is a former shooter, though. Coming into this gym, I find it's always about who can adjust to the depth behind the backboard first in the first half.
You're not wrong, because 99 out of 100 gyms you play in, if you play 100 games in a season, that's impressive.
What are you, LeBron James?
But most of them have, they're really close to the wall again in the high school gyms. You're used to seeing that kind of, the depth perception is what you're used to. You come into the Arena Bowl, these two teams, they played on South Court the first 2 days. They played on the center court yesterday. Both very similar. The two closest ones, that Caleb Wilson hits that nice runner. The closest to a high school gym as you can have here at the Langley Event Center. The other two courts with these large arena style, a lot of space behind. It takes a long time to get used to. Hopefully you start hitting a couple, kind of getting your feel, your rhythm during warm-ups, but it takes a while, and usually, yeah, these shooting teams, whoever can adjust first, usually is the one that comes away with these victories.
Carter Fry missing the 3. Him and Tristan Kuhn, the leading scorers for this Blue Jags team. A lot less reliant on the deep ball, though, is St. Michael's than Sa Hali. Smith will shoot that 3. We haven't seen him hit one, but he looks comfortable taking it. Futema, deep triple, short. Smith, the board, the putback. Yes, Jadian Smith, 2 rebounds and 2 points already in the first 4 minutes of this game.
Yeah, and Jadian Smith, like you said, 30 rebounds in that quarterfinal game. Still had a really good double-double against McChesney, and that's really going to be the interesting factor. Not a lot of size for the St. Michael's team. They really don't have the length and the physicality to deal with Jadian Smith, so you can imagine he'll have another dominating presence and another dominating game inside if he can stay out of foul trouble.
So the 11 seed against the 12th seed for 3rd place here in a bracket that was busted pretty much wide open in the first round, and an offensive foul called on Luis Kuzmenko. Kuzmenko has been the defensive stopper on the ball, with allowing Smith to kind of come over with the help. He guarded McChesney for most of that game last night.
And he also guarded Cole Brandsma in the quarterfinal game against Abbotsford Christian. He was the one with the big assignment, and it was Jadian Smith who was coming across to play help defense. That was the strategy, especially against McChesney, and he was very game for the most part of that game. He was going right after, not intimidated by either Brandsma or McChesney, and just played him straight up as much as he could for as long as he could.
Ty McCall and Mitchell Vosper are in for Sa Hali, and that man Noah Hellman in along with Will Kinahan. So this lineup for St. Michael's, this is their starting lineup. The 12th graders, Jinwoo Park and Ken Wang, getting the start. Sa Hali can't finish, but they got their own rebound. It's Ty McCall. McCall got hot late last night, nearly won that game against Charles Hayes just on his own shooting abilities.
Him and Caleb Wilson down the stretch. The 3rd quarter belonged to McCall. The 4th was Caleb Wilson. Just not quite enough. Both these players, gunners, you have green lights from the outside, and they got hot at the right time.
Fry gets the continuation and one. And St. Michael's very much in this ball game. I keep saying it like it's a surprise, but
that's the crazy part about it, right?
St. Michael's is usually the favorite in these tournaments. Just a down year in terms of personnel for them. Carter Fry, the 11th grader, leading scorer on this team. You'll rarely see a 10th grader on the St. Michael's roster. They've just got such a depth of talent. One of the best overall athletic departments in the province. Soccer, basketball, track and field, rugby, everything. That ball stolen by Wilson. Wilson will shoot it off the dribble if you give him space. McCall, the spot up 3. Got it. Ty McCall, undaunted by the depth behind the backboard. 8-8.
Yeah, and it's all created by the penetration of Caleb Wilson. A very solid player with a solid handle. Never plays out of control. Always plays within himself. And he knows where his players are. He knows where Nunn is at all times. He knows where McCall is at all times, and he finds him. And like we said, McCall, that 3rd quarter, like we always said that the 3rd quarter was the coaching quarter. You expected last night that Charles Hayes would use that 3rd quarter to pull away, but it was the hot shooting of McCall down the end of that 3rd quarter that I think it was a tie ball game going into the 4th.
Yeah, it was a tie, and they had a 1-point lead at some point early in the 4th off of McCall 3. Kaido Futema got hot in that one as well. So all 3 of the gunners for Sa Hali shooting well last night, as Noah Hellman missed that wide right. Ty Olenek took it back. Olenek very much kind of that grit and grind hustle player for this St. Michael's team. Does a little bit of everything well. Carter Fry, floater, no. Rebound, Mitch Vosper. Vosper also gave Sa Hali good minutes on McChesney last night. Nunn to the rack, no. Rebound, Nunn. Anderson in the corner with Wilson. Oh, McCall wide open, real deep though. Missed it long. Like you said, hard green light for McCall and Wilson from anywhere across half court, it seems.
They've gotten to this point on the hot shooting from both those players. Why take that away from them now?
3rd place game here in the BC Boys AA Provincial Basketball Championship Tournament on TFSE TV. Jump hook, Anderson gets the roll. Ben Anderson, 6'2", 11th grade forward. Izzy Hellman is at the scorer's table for St. Michael's. It's good to see both these teams have figured out you got to go all the way to the scorers to check in.
That's a well-coached.
Both well-coached teams. If you had an all-tournament coaches team, both these coaches would be on it. Along with Mel Bishop, rather, coach of Charles Hayes. Mel and/or Ryan Bishop. Kaido Futema, the steal. Futema to the rack, ball fake, Kuhn the block, but a foul called. Futema got him up in the air. We'll see Eunice Ozer as well here for St. Michael's. Carson Dumais into the game for the Sabres. Dumais, another player who really showed out against McChesney last night. Got dunked on, got his shot rejected a few times, but he never quit and just put in work guarding a player 7 inches taller than him.
That kid came on the floor and just battled the entire time. It was, with Kajwanko getting in foul trouble a little bit early, it was Dumais who had to have the assignment of basically face guarding McChesney, and with the help coming, immediately one of the first times guarding him, he got dunked on. The second time, he got crossed up pretty well. But he just kept battling. He got put on 2 highlights right away and just forgot about it right away. That kid battled every step of the way. And he played a huge part. He did a really good job of guarding Liam McChesney for the better part of his time guarding him.
Dumais, a long 6'3", wingspan probably closer to 6'6". Hellman blocked by Smith. Rebound Dumais. Dumais did a good job siphoning the ball handler towards Smith on that possession and just letting Jadian Smith do work. I haven't seen somebody block so many floaters in a long time. Smith has got the timing and the length and the hops to do it. Nunn lost the ball. Kuhn, 1-on-3. Fakes and turns and fires. St. Michael's down 1.
Tristan Kuhn, basically the only player kind of with any kind of offensive effectiveness last night against George Eliot. Finished with 16 and 2 rebounds. Shot 6 of 17 from the floor. That's probably 3 of 8 from deep, though.
And in the moments where St. Michael's was in that ball game early, it was Tristan Kuhn's outside shooting that was doing it for him. Carter Fry really struggled in that one.
Him and Ty Linnet combined to be 5 of 27 from the floor. Give George Eliot credit. That's a vaunted defense, and they just were hitting early.
Wilson. No, that's McCall rather in the corner. Nunn. Back out McCall. Give him a little bit of space. He'll take a mile. 3 ball for Ty McCall. 14-12 after St. Michael's took their first lead of the game. Here goes Olynyk. Very loose man-to-man for Sa Hali, with Smith never moving more than 8 feet away from the basket. Kuhn gets a little bit of space and 1. That fouls on Futema.
And Noah Hellman playing on the perimeter a little bit there is forcing Jadian Smith to come out a little bit, so he's not exactly playing in the little restricted area where you'd want him to be as the rim protector.
Eunice Ozer into the game. Justin Lee, a.k.a. Juice, checking into this one as well on the made free throw. He'll bring out Eunice Ozer after about 3 possessions out there. Justin Lee, the heart of this team off the bench. He's that hype man. Last night you could see everybody on this team rooting for him to hit a shot when he came in garbage time. Smith driving on Hellman, floater, nice shot, Jadian Smith.
We haven't really seen much of Jadian Smith putting the ball on the floor. We saw a little bit last night, more than we saw in the quarterfinals, with some success. They don't really like to go to him like as a post player, ISO. He's more of a cleanup guy if he gets pick and rolls, cutting to the basket, but he does have moves when he has to.
Hellman, no good on the runner. Final possession will be for Sa Hali, but they do like to rush, so maybe not the final possession. Nunn's shoe is untied. Worth noting. 7 on the clock. They're going to look for Smith down low, up and under. Nope. The putback. Got it. Jadian Smith dominating inside on both ends. 18-15 the score after 1. Back with stats analysis and the second quarter in a minute. Here live from the Arena Bowl, the BC Boys AA third place game here on TFSETV.ca. Welcome back. Start of the second quarter here on TFSCTV.ca. The Sa Hali Sabres lead the St. Michael's University School Blue Jags 18-15 in the 11 versus 12 battle for third place. Max Sussman, Zach Griffin here with you. Zach, rebounding firmly in favor of Sa Hali in that first quarter.
14-6, Sa Hali with the rebounding edge, and only 2 of those officially being credited to Jadian Smith. They're doing a really good job. Jalen Nunn's giving a lot of help to try and crash the glass. It's a real concerted effort. And St. Michael's, they're going to have to get back into this if they want to stay in it. Only down 3. Hard to do that when you're only getting 6 rebounds in a quarter.
Callum Wilson's found the range now. He's switched that one. 21-15. If Wilson can get it going, Sa Hali Sabres can blow this one wide open. Not a lot of outside shooting for St. Michael's to answer. Kinahan, tough take, fouled by Wilson. He'll go to the line for 2. And Zach, 2 teams we did not expect to be seeing in the Arena Bowl on Saturday. St. Michael's 12 and 21 on the season. Sa Hali 21 and 13, but a 12 seed. Perennially in this tournament, though, out of the 2A bracket, they lost the Okanagan championship game to George Elliott, who'll be in the finals this afternoon.
Yeah, but like this whole 2A bracket's has been nothing but upsets. 13 seed, 12 seed, 11 seed, all winning on the first day. This is just, it's March at its finest, really.
And Call missed the deep triple. Carter Fry will push for St. Michael's. Fry behind the back, guarded by Kuzmenko again, getting the assignment of the other team's best player. Smith fouls Tadeo Allerding, so Allerding will shoot a pair.
Carter Fry is having a much more effective time getting to the basket than he did last night. Finished 3 of 16 from the floor. He just couldn't get anything going. He was able to get some looks, but it was so few and far between. Whenever it seemed like he managed to get one, he was missing them. He was having a little bit more of an easier time getting to the basket in this one.
Big difference between playing against a man defense in a 2-3 zone.
Yeah,
you beat one guy and you're into the paint against man-to-man.
It's really hard just to take a man and try to go to the hole against a 2-3 zone where everything can just collapse. And the way that, that George Elliott switches from man to that 2-3 zone was just something you don't see a lot at this level.
Well-coached team, the George Elliott Coyotes, will play against another well-coached and talented team in Charles Hayes in the finals of this 2A bracket. Right now, bronze medal game. Here's Juice for Fry. Justin Lee being guarded by Jadian Smith right now. Pull-up jumper, Kuhn, no. Rebound, battling, Smith has it. Jadian Smith against Allerding and Fry just won that tip drill.
He'll win most of those.
Oh, the crossover, the step back 3. Caleb Wilson, shake and bake.
Those are some playground moves right there.
I will take him on my pickup team all day.
Sa Hali is going to that 2-3 zone now.
Wilson called for the foul. The James Harden patented reach around steal attempt. It's either a foul or a blow by like 95% of the time.
1 out of 20 times you actually get the tip from behind and get a steal out. But it is a savvy play that does work from time to time.
Justin Lee, head fake. Lost the handle, got it to Carter Fry. 8 on the shot clock. Fry into the corner. Lee, 3 ball, no good. And before the game, Zach, we were talking to Ian Hyde-Lane. He said all Justin Lee wanted to do was play on this court in this tournament.
It was so funny because, once they beat Langley Christian, as that 3 is good. Once they beat Langley Christian, he realized, and he was so excited because it doesn't really matter what happens the next day because Saturday morning we're playing on the Arena Bowl floor.
Kinahan traveled. Noah Hellman, Ty Olenek check back in. They'll bring off Tadeo Allerding and Justin Lee. Izzy Hellman joins them. He can't play 6-on-5, so Will Kinahan will sit.
Still working on that little loophole to see if I can figure that out, how to do a 6-on-5.
Yeah, the old basketball power play.
Can you pull the net?
Pull your basket off the floor? We can't score, but we'll go 6-on-5 on defense. Interesting strategy with like a 10-point lead late. Futema. Oh, floats it over Noah Hellman. Timeout Sa Hali. No timeout St. Michael's. That makes a lot more sense. 29-17, Zach. And it's been the story that we told to start this game. Rebounding and shot blocking from Smith and shooting from the rest of this Sa Hali team in Futema, McCall, and Wilson.
And as well as the adjustments made by Dean Mazurowski, he's dropped into that 2-3 zone now, and that's probably why Ian Hidlay is calling for the time. Needs time to go over the strategy that they want to employ, especially if Jadian Smith is on the floor. It's a different kind of 2-3 zone. Not many 2-3 zones employ a long 6'7" player who can block pretty much anyone who goes at the basket. So they're going to have to come up and try and emphasize different points of attack, how they want to go about going after this zone, because it is a different type of zone. It's very effective. It's very active on the perimeter, knowing that even if the players get beat, they have that safety valve of Jadian Smith protecting the hole.
Don't be at all surprised if you see this Sa Hali team next season as well, with Smith, the centerpiece, an 11th grader, likely still growing as well. Already 6'7". Fry walks it up for St. Michael's. Izzy Hellman. Izzy Hellman can shoot it. Kuhn for Olenek into the corner. Fry over Kuzwenko. Long. Rebound tipped. Tipped again. And McCall the board. Here's Kaido Futema. Giving him a lot of space for a guy who's hit 2 threes already today. This has been the crunch time lineup for the Sabres, with Futema, McCall, and Wilson around Smith and Kuzwenko. Smith flashing to the high post, spins up over Hellman. No good. Fry the rebound.
And Noah Hellman's been doing all the dirty work these last 2 games for St. Michael's. He's listed as the big, only officially listed, I think something like 6'3", 6'2", and he's the one battling with these bigs down low. He's going after Jadian Smith as he gets his shot blocked.
Jadian Smith, last 2 games, has had 5 and 6 blocks. He's got those instincts. Well, you see a lot of players at 6'7" to 6'10" in this tournament who aren't good shot blockers, because it's all about timing, and the 3-ball from Carter Fry is good.
Yeah, it was an interesting battle seeing him and Cole Brandsma going at 2 actual shot blockers with incredible shot blocking timing and length and ups.
Cole Brandsma might be the best jumper I've seen ever in this tournament.
That was amazing.
Like, he had like a 5-foot vertical on his jump shot. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but he got way up there just to shoot it. Top-ranked volleyball player in the province for the 13 seed Abbotsford Christian Knights, probably.
There's been a few.
There's been a lot of Knights. Yes, the Knights.
I thought that sounded right, yeah.
Foul called on St. Michael's. That's on Noah Hellman. Got his hands full with Jadian Smith. And he held on with those hands full, so a holding. None. Into the corner, Wilson. Thought about just shooting it. Kuhn's got a hand in his face. Futema, top of the key. He walked. (29-20). St. Michael's hanging tough. Here's Fry, open for 3. No good. Rebound, Olenek. Back up with it. Got it. And Ty Olenek snatched that out of the air away from Jadian Smith. Used the rim to seal off the shot blocker.
And Ty Olenek did the right thing. As soon as he got that rebound, Carter Fry put his hand up on the perimeter, open for another 3. But if you get the ball on the inside there and you're inside Jadian Smith, that's the black hole it doesn't come out of. You got the opening look, you got to go to the basket and go up with it.
Extra pass finds Caleb Wilson open on the wing. He hits another triple.
And he's probably been one of the more automatic shooters in any tournament that we've seen so far.
Yeah, Wilson is just cash if he gets space, and still pretty good if he doesn't have any space. As far as off the dribble shooting as well, got that kind of off-the-dribble effectiveness that we so rarely see.
And he's so solid and balanced that he's never kind of out of control, never floating, always goes straight up with it. That's why he's been shooting at such a consistent rate in this tournament.
The Klay Thompson of BC basketball this year. Gets the feet
Just
set.
more dribbling.
Yeah, significantly more dribbling. But he gets the feet set, shoulders towards the basket every time. Timeout for St. Michael's, down 10. A little bit of a run here for Sa Hali. And on the offensive end for St. Michael's, not a ton of scoring options, but they're going to have to adjust to this 2-3 zone if Carter Fry can't knock down open threes.
Well, as soon as they called that timeout, did St. Michael's to go over their zone offense, Sa Hali pulled the plug on the zone and went right back to a man. Those are the kind of changes that if you can effectively execute with a team, a well-disciplined team, it just gives teams, like other teams, problems, especially at this level. We just went over, okay, we're running our zone, but some players at this level don't really have the ability to recognize. That's where the coaching comes in, and they have to communicate that they're not running a zone anymore, go back to our man sets. Usually takes a play or two before the team recognizing can get into it. And if you have a team that can just go switch from zone to man, it's hard because, like I said, it takes a possession or two to recognize it. And if every possession you're having to recognize is a zone, is it man, you all of a sudden, and you're scoring on the other end, you can start to extend the lead because the other team is having trouble adjusting to what you're doing.
Nothing too special about the Sa Hali offense from Dean Mazurowski, but besides kind of the shooting of McCall and Wilson. But on the defensive side, the coaching for Sa Hali has really impressed me. The defensive mind of Dean Mazurowski and Dalen Epp, along with Alan Ho, the assistants, they just seem to scout well and be well prepared for every team they've played, and they've got a main strategy, a counter, and a counter to that counter.
Yeah, we saw a couple different things. We saw early in that game last night, they wanted to go Jaden Smith against Liam McChesney. Then they switched for a bit, putting Kuzwenko on him with Jaden Smith helping. And then they just full-on put Jaden Smith on their point guard, Cachero, and just basically said, dared him to hit from the outside. That way they could provide 2, maybe even 3 players to come and help against Liam McChesney. So there's a counter for the counter, then a counter to that counter. The ever-present chess game. And that was the picture-perfect way to beat a 2-3 zone. That time they recognized it, and they had the perfect play. They got the ball up top to Will Kinahan in the high post, found a cutting Noah Hellman. That's picture-perfect high-low passing from your post play against a 2-3 zone.
But again, Sa Hali's got so many different defensive looks they can throw at you. If the zone's not working, they can go to a man. We've seen them pull a 1-3-1 out as well, with Smith in the middle. Vosper's in right now, so not the shot blocking threat that Jaden Smith is. Futema, corner 3, no Wilson, head fake. Pulls it back out. Futema up top to none. Back to Futema, over to Wilson. He'll just trigger it.
Oh
Got
my goodness.
it. Caleb Wilson's feeling it today. He wants a medal. And he wants an all-tournament team berth, I think.
It's very interesting to see these teams in these third-place games. We've seen some teams that maybe were expected to compete for the championship that come short and they kind of fold in the third-place game. And then we see teams that want to show out because they're happy to be here. Both these teams excited to be here, weren't expected to be here at all, and they're showing out. They're playing like they want to win a medal.
Futema threw it away. Vosper nearly took it back. Called for the foul. Hellman out, Kinahan in.
Keep your head away from the ball, right? You'll be okay.
Fry hits the first, 10-point ball game, 3:15 to go here in the second. Jaden Smith back in, Wilson, double bounce pass for none.
And now they're picking up in a full court 1-2-1-1 zone press is St. Michael's.
Wilson breaks it down to Kuzwenko, offensive foul. Luis Kuzwenko a little too physical in initiating that contact.
You're allowed to sort of, take the bump to make the contact, but once your elbow kind of goes out there, it's real easy for the officials to make that call. Even if you kind of hit with your shoulder, if you're using that elbow to maybe even balance yourself out, it just looks like you're shoving them off, and it's an easy call for a ref to make.
One of these teams trying to join the High Road Academy Knights, as well as the Duchess Park Condors as bronze medal winners. Finals coming up next, single A finals, Kelowna Christian versus Credo Christian. Knights versus Kodiaks.
How do you think Credo Christian's gonna react to that game they were in last night, that semifinal?
I mean, it was relatively early in the day. It was a 3:30 game, so they've had enough time. Like, luckily for them, it wasn't the late game.
Oh, could you imagine?
Because that would have gone till midnight. It was a 3-hour ball game, 100 free throws taken.
65 fouls, 10 players fouled out.
At the end, it was essentially Anthony Vanderstep against Chris Graham. Credo Christian won the game despite their leading scorer, Will Dykstra, fouling out, I think, late in the fourth quarter.
I believe so, yeah.
So he didn't play in overtime, but Stephen Klein and then Anthony Vanderstep stepped up.
Yeah, Stephen Klein hit that big 3 late to send it to double overtime.
Bank shots. And then he fouled out.
Yeah, well.
One of the crazier basketball games I've seen at any level anywhere in my life. I was just happy to be there, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. That's a big adrenaline dump coming yesterday. And emotionally, that'll feel like the finals, but you got another game here to play for
one more
first
game
place.
to play, yeah. And Kelowna Christian's not going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah, that team's so long and athletic, so much shooting, so well coached with Dan Benson. That's coming up next. The great Howard Samura with the call. We're going to maybe take a nap before the 2A finals.
Rest up. Put on some hype videos.
Definitely have like a nice warm tea for my throat. Free throws no good from Wilson. That's a surprise. He's been pretty money from the free throw line this tournament.
He's been money from everywhere in this tournament.
Well, they should do like a three-point contest.
I finished second in one of those.
I just want to see like all the great shooters at every level compete. I feel like Wilson might win it though.
Especially the way he's been shooting this. He's hot right now.
Ben Anderson comes in for Callum Wilson.
I feel like there used to be a dunk contest early, like back in the Agrodome days.
Oh, maybe. That's before my time. I was still in California back in those days. Jinwoo Park over Smith. Tough finish. Smith with the verticality didn't even really challenge the shot, just got big in front of him.
He's got a couple of fouls going into this one. Don't want to get into foul trouble like he did last night. Just play the smart play, get tall, get vertical, make him make a shot around you.
16-footer from the baseline, no good. And again, we haven't really seen Smith hit too many jump shots, but he looks comfortable taking it, which is a good sign that he works on it in practice at least.
Yeah, that's going to be a 3 in the key call there against Jinwoo Park. Yeah, it has the form to it. Looks like he's comfortable taking it. Yeah, it's probably a practice shot that just hasn't worked in the game, but eventually, I mean, this is your last game of the season. Why not try to extend your range a little bit?
We saw him take a couple three-pointers last night.
As well as in the quarterfinal game.
Yeah. Just the fact that you're willing to take that shot makes the defense think about it, about honoring you deep. That ball out of bounds, knocked away off the hand of Ben Anderson. It'll be St. Michael's ball. 1:05 to go. They've crawled a little bit back into this, down 7. Chance to make it a 4 or 5 point game here. This Blue Jags team, the only team we've seen in this tournament to play every player pretty consistently. Only a 10-man roster.
They have a very small bench, so yeah, you're going to have to.
Olynyk, step back 3.
Oh
Got
my.
the roll. Home bounce on the road here for St. Michael's. Olynyk makes it a 4-point ball game. Final minute to play in the first half. Sa Hali looks to answer. 19 on the shot clock. Futema guarded by Kuhn. Wants a screen off Anderson. Kicks out Nunn. Spinning. Jalen Nunn lost the handle. He'll have to reset. 3 ball. Got it. Ben Anderson for 3.
It's contagious, Max.
You see that so often when 1 or 2 shooters get hot, like McCall and Wilson have been all tournament. Everybody starts to kind of feel it. Fry's going to clear out for a ISO possession to finish this half. Guarded by Anderson. Not really creating much space. 4 on the clock. Step back 3. Tough shot. Air ball. Jinwoo Park saves it, but that'll do it for the first half. 41-34. Sa Hali leads. over the St. Michael's University School Blue Jags. Back with the second half and some analysis from Zach Griffin in just about 8 minutes here. You're watching BC Boys AA third place game, the bronze medal game here on TFSETV.ca. Welcome back to the Arena Bowl at the Langley Event Center for the BC Boys AA third place game, the bronze medal game here on TFSETV.ca. I'm Max Sussman. With me is Zach Griffin. Zach, 15 points on 5 of 7 shooting, 4 of 5 from downtown for Caleb Wilson. This guy with the ball. St. Michael's led by 11 points for Tristan Kuhn. Still just 7 for Carter Fry, 2 for 9 after a 3 for 16 game last night. How can Fry become a little bit more efficient for St. Michael's?
Well, this is one way, getting out in transition and hitting those easy ones, but it's real hard to get to the basket with Jadian Smith out there. So the more they can get it out, force turnovers, force mistakes from Sa Hali, and get out and run in transition, the better it will be for Carter Fry, whose shot just has deserted him these last 2 games.
A downright mediocre rebounding game for Smith, just 4 in the first half. Wilson continues the hot shooting for the Sabres. He's got 18. Caleb Wilson looking to secure that all-tournament team berth. I think he's got it. Do they do like second team though? Yeah. So he's going to be on one of these teams. He's got to be. Carrying the offense for Sa Hali for much of this tournament. Smith contested that shot. He's got 2 fouls, so he's got to be a little careful. 6 points and 4 boards.
3 blocks as well. Yeah, overall, Sa Hali shot 45% as a team. And a lot of that had to do with Caleb Wilson. 66% as a team from the 3-point line. 8 of 12.
That's the book on this team, though, right? Like it's shooters around Jadian Smith, essentially.
Yeah, and that's, they don't really use him. They more use him as like a decoy, as a potential threat. They don't really go to him that much in the post, as I say that they go right now. But yeah, they're more looking to establish him. And yeah, he's got the moves when he has to use them.
He's got the moves as a timeout's called by St. Michael's. He's also been a very effective passer out of the post, getting good open looks for Ty McCall and Caleb Wilson as double teams have come early and often against Jadian Smith.
Yeah, they have to send it to him, so they always collapse, and he's used to it, and he's got such length and vision over top of most players who are coming after him that he has the composure to find players and get the kick out to the right player. And the most important part about that, when he gets the kick out, McCall and Wilson have been hitting their shots.
Ty McCall, 2 of 4 from downtown. Caleb Wilson, 5 of 6. Quick math, that's 7 for 10. That's pretty good.
That's really good.
70% from downtown for the 2 gunners. And, I mean, add into that Kaido Futema, 1 for 1. Those are their 3 shooters. Futema's got 8 on 3 of 5 shooting. McCall only has hit 2 shots, but they've both been threes. He's got 6. Smith now 8 points, 5 rebounds, 3 blocks, an assist, a steal. Jadian Smith just does a little bit of everything, but the impact for him mostly comes on the defensive end, blocking shots and ending defensive possessions.
The important part.
Dominating that defensive glass. I would imagine 30 rebounds, a AA record, since 32 is the overall record.
Set by Fardos IMAC in the 2016 finals, I believe, against Southridge.
IMAC.
AIMAQ.
Not sponsored by Apple.
I get it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, he had 42 and 32 in that game.
That's all right. It's an all right game. Olynyk, fadeaway over Smith, no. Defensive rebound, Jadian Smith boxed out, but he just got it with length and athleticism.
Then there's only so much you can do. You can box out a guy and get it on your back, but if he's got 6 inches, 7 inches on you, what are you gonna do, really?
Yeah, you can't go up and get it at the highest point where he can. Futema into the lane, stops, travels. Dragged that pivot foot.
And St. Michael's is always a school that's very well coached defensively. They move their feet extremely well. They guard the perimeter quite well. And they've been getting some penetration, but few and far between. It's just been, they're just hitting the outside shots, our Sa Hali. Because they're playing a pretty good defensive game. It's their offense that's been a bit of a struggle.
Olynyk, tough catch. Jab step. 3 ball, no. Rebound. Noah Hellman. Blocked by Smith. The tip is good. Noah Hellman. 2 offensive rebounds and a bucket. Moses Malone over here.
Noah Hellman doing the right thing. Jadian Smith playing with those fouls. he can't really go after the shots the way he'd want to. He has to play super disciplined, can't hack on the defensive boards either.
Loose ball came right to Smith. He's got 10 now. Futema had it poked away. Tristan Kuhn with the Hail Mary around the back poke. It worked. That's the only time you'll see that happen in this game. The rest will be fouls and easy baskets. Olynyk. They want to post up Hellman on Smith. Interesting strategy. Carter Fry off a screen. Line drive floater, no good. Foul's going to be on Luis Kajwenko, I believe.
That is on Kajwenko, and that's another way of getting him the ball, getting him looks for Carter Fry, getting him in screening situations. Set him as either a screener or the ball handler in a pick and roll. That time they set a double screen with Hellman and Kuhn on either side. Pick and choose where you want to go. Just different ways of creating looks for Carter Fry.
Fry hits the free throw. Kajwenko sits with 3 fouls. You're watching BC Boys AA third place game, bronze medal game. That sounds better. Here on TFSETV.ca, the Sa Hali Sabres 48, St. Michael's University School Blue Jags 38. Ty McCall in, Futema out.
So out of the free throw, 1-2-1-1 zone press for St. Michael's.
But a lot of good ball handlers on this Sa Hali team with Wilson and Nunn and McCall. McCall going to the basket over Hellman, gets it to go. 8 points for Ty McCall.
That was a strong take, and yeah, they're putting Jadian Smith right at half court, right in between, right in the middle of the soft spot of that zone press. They get the ball to him, they can get kickouts, and there's such a threat of that they collapsed on him a little bit, and they left McCall open in the far corner.
Fry, jab step, guarded by Anderson. Into the corner, Hellman drives on Wilson, pulls it back for Fry. Fry, a little razzle-dazzle. Into the corner, Olynyk. Olynyk, 1 on the shot clock, got to get it up. Rejected by Smith. Continuation given to Sa Hali. Wilson, the push into the paint, the finish and 1. Callum Wilson's got 21 points on 7 for 9 shooting. 5 of 6 from downtown.
Great way to show out for the senior. His last game ever.
8 for 10, sorry, bad math, yeah.
His last game ever. He's going out on the high note if he has anything to say about it.
15 points in the first half, 8 points already here. Looking for a 9th. Caleb Wilson gets points in bunches of 3.
Quick math.
24 points for Caleb Wilson. And you got to honor his shot, and he's got a good handle, so he's able to get to the basket when he wants to. Just usually doesn't need to because he needs about 6 inches of space to take a 3. Kuhn, the pull-up 18-footer, no good. Rebound long for Wilson. He'll find McCall. Ty McCall is just going to pull up in transition. Missed that 3 ball. He's now 2 for 5 from downtown. Still pretty good. And Jinwoo Park threw it away for the Blue Jags.
Bit of miscommunication, him and Izzy Hellman. Hellman went one way, pass came as soon as he made his cut. Just miscommunication.
Wilson wants a screen. Opts out of it, picks up his dribble, up top for Nunn. McCall. Wilson, nope, he'll look to post up Smith. Spins on Park, lefty off the glass. Jadian Smith has 12 points, showing us a little bit more of that post footwork.
That was really savvy footwork. The right foot drop step going to his left. Looks like he's been doing it the entire tournament. Like we said, we've only seen little spurts of him in the post-up game.
Nunn the steal. Nunn wisely slows it down. McCall. He's got Wilson open in the corner. 3 ball. Got it. Caleb Wilson. 7 for 8 from 3. He's got 27 points.
And he was open that entire time. The defense late to react. They have to key in better on shooters. And right now the shooter is Caleb Wilson.
Tough shot for Tristan Kuhn, makes it an 18-point game. It was a 6-point game at the half. Foul called. Before that basket by Kuhn, it was a 17-4 run to start this second half for Sa Hali. Much of those points coming from Caleb Wilson. He's got 12 in this quarter alone. Smith on the feed, fouled. He'll shoot free throws. One place where Jadian Smith has struggled is at the free throw line. He's 0 for 2 today, shooting below 50% from the tournament. Tadeo Allerding checks in for Jinwoo Park. Josh Glover will check in for the shooter Smith if he hits the second one. And Kaido Futema also at the scorer's table. Smith missed the free throw. They're going to make Futema wait for the shots as well now. 3:28 to go in the third. Smith rolls it in. He'll sit. 13 points, 8 rebounds. Glover in. Futema in. Tough take for Kuhn. No good. Wilson. Behind the back dribble. Back out to Futema, into the corner, McCall. 20 on the shot clock. McCall off a screen. Back to Glover. Glover driving baseline on Kuhn. Kicks it out, McCall. Head fake, driving. That's a travel. He's going for the Euro step, but he didn't get his off foot down. He just jumped on one foot there, and that's, yeah, they'll count that as an up and down
That's
travel.
pretty, yeah, it's an easy one. It kind of was met in midair, and he kind of jumped off his left foot, then landed on his left foot. You can't really count that as a step. It's a full-on jump.
Kuhn, Izzy Hellman, driving on Wilson. Blocked with his elbow, but a foul called on the body.
That's impressive. You can block it with your elbow. What ups?
Meant to do it. That's 3 on Wilson. Carson Dumais will check in, I'd imagine, for Wilson. Free throw is good. Second one, friendly bounce for Izzy Hellman. So Wilson will sit down with 27 points, 12 in the quarter, nearly doubled his output in this third. 17-point lead for Sa Hali. Glover over to McCall. He'll be the #1 scoring option with Wilson on the bench and Smith on the bench. Threw it away, though, did McCall. Here's St. Michael's back the other way. 17-point ball game. Olenek driving, kicking for Allerding, who couldn't handle the pass. It'll be Sabres basketball. 2:12 to go in the third.
They made the right reads there. They got the players shifting around. They got the defense going, but they just couldn't. Maybe one little pass extra in the paint. You'd rather preferred Olenek try to take that shot. Allerding, that's a tough tough catch to make. A zip pass 3 feet away inside the paint.
Anderson's got 7 off the bench after that finish. Defensive adjustment probably coming at the quarter break for St. Michael's, Zach. With the shooting of Sa Hali. What's the adjustment, though? Is it just as simple as running them off the three-point line? As Fry misses the shot?
We saw, like, before Wilson picked up his third, they were using Ty Olenek basically shadowing him. He was the one just face guarding him the entire way, not giving him any room. But the problem is that there's other shooters on this team. Ben Anderson has hit some shots. Ty McCall is out there. Keita Futema has hit a few. So, yeah, it's Ty Olenek, probably one of their better on-ball defenders. You can put Tristan Kuhn on another, but there's so many different options, different shooters. It's tough to key in on one player or two players specifically.
We saw Kuhn face guarding Nick LaFontaine last night, who was a hot shooting start for the George Eliot Coyotes. Dumais draws the foul, but I guess maybe just because of the nature of Callum Wilson's game, more of an ball-dominant guard who'll shoot off the dribble. LaFontaine was just running off screen after screen. You want that extra length that Ty Olynyk gives you at 6'2".
Yeah, LaFontaine was hitting some pretty crazy shots off dribbles, but yeah, he was in the flow of the offense. You can tell a lot of it was keying in on him, trying to get open, running him off of screens, couple double screens up top. But yeah, Callum Wilson is just he's a creator, and then once he gets rid of the ball, he's so savvy. He finds the open space, and when these players, his other teammates, are such great with the ball in their hands that they command attention too. As soon as the defense sags, kick out, he's been hitting those shots.
Yeah, the ball handling and the dribble penetration from Jalen Nunn, an underrated part of this Sa Hali team that allows Wilson to pass the ball off and then get moving off ball when he can't find it for himself. Olynyk, the step back triple, wide left. St. Michael's appears to still not have figured out kind of the depth of this shooting, as there have been some pretty bad misses here.
No, the depth was pretty good. It was the
width.
The
the horizontal, whatever you call it. The x-axis.
Yes.
Oh, deep triple. McCall. Got it. Ty McCall from about 27 feet.
Yeah, they figured out the x-axis, the y-axis, maybe even the z-axis.
What is that? Up? Is that like back to front? Is that a 3D graph you're talking about?
That's right.
Or are you just talking Minecraft coordinates?
Maybe. The depth, so down.
Always go to 12 on the z-axis. That's where the diamonds are. Pro tip for you kids listening. Also, just playing creative. It's way more fun. Allerding hits the free throws. 19-point game. Subs for Sa Hali. It's Gova Tajadini. He'll bring out McCall. Hopefully we haven't seen the last of McCall and Wilson. Both 12th graders. You gotta let them play the full 4 quarters when they're shooting so well. McCall's got 12, I believe. Futema. 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. He wants a screen from Glover. Futema gets the switch on Allerding, driving. The lefty layup, no. Glover gets the rebound, back up with it and in. 21-point lead here, final possession of the third for Ty Olynyk and the St. Michael's Blue Jags. Olynyk with 2. He's got to go with 1. Fires, top of the key, no good. And that'll do it for the third quarter. Sa Hali winning that one by 14. And we'll take a quick break. Back with stats and analysis from Zach. I'm Max. You're watching BC Boys 2A bronze medal action here on TFSETV.ca. Welcome back for the fourth quarter of the BC Boys AA bronze medal game. 67-46. Sa Hali leads by 21. The 12 seed looking to finish third in the province. I'm Max Sussman. With me is Zach Griffin. Here live at the Arena Bowl at the Langley Event Center on TFSETV.ca. Zach, crazy hot shooting from Sa Hali throughout this game.
You don't really need to look past the shooting numbers to really get the story of this game. St. Michael's 2 of 12. 16.5%. Sa Hali 11 of 16, just under 70%.
That's the 3-point shooting numbers. Overall field goal percentage 53% for Sa Hali to 29.4% for St. Michael's. Carter Fry, it's been tough sledding for him. That's a charge. And that's going to be foul number 1 on Carter Fry. He's got 11 points to lead the scoring for St. Michael's. 24 points, 4 boards, 2 assists for Callum Wilson. 11 points, 4 boards, and 4 assists for Ty McCall. Nunn into the corner, skips it over for Futema. Futema had it taken away. Olenek to the floor, but it's out of bounds. And cannot say enough about the outside shooting of Callum Wilson. 6 of 7 from downtown, 8 for 10 from the floor.
24 points on 10 shots is ridiculous.
Yeah, 2.4 per shot, 2.4 points per shot. You want about 1.5 points per shot. That's considered great.
Yeah.
1 being average. Lead pass too hot for Ty Olenek, and the struggles on the offensive end continue for the St. Michael's Blue Jags. But for both these teams, just being in this game, a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, they, on paper, not expected to be here, especially St. Michael's, 12 of 21 on the season. They just got hot at the right time, and that continued for the first 2 games of this tournament. Just seeing like the hot play just kind of slowed down against George Eliot, but still a 12 seed and 11 seed in this bronze medal game, when most people had them written off and expected them to just be not be here, to be completely honest.
Yeah, but in all honesty, St. Michael's no business making it to this tournament. But the lengthy athletic defense, the coaching from Ian Hidley, he dragged them here essentially. As Carter Fry got hot in that Vancouver Island tournament. Wilson in for Nunn. You want to talk about hot? There's Callum Wilson. Jadian Smith wide open down low. Wilson's got the assist. Smith has got the bucket. Smith has 15 points along with 6 rebounds and 4 block shots.
I believe the over-under was 25 rebounds for him, though, so going to fall a little bit short. Those are some lofty expectations.
Hey, man, I wouldn't put it past him to get 12 rebounds, or sorry, 24 rebounds here in a quarter. Nunn pushing. Slows it down, kind of. Tied up, but a foul is going to be called on Noah Hellman. For Hellman, his second. Coming up next here at the Arena Bowl, Single A Finals, Kelowna Christian versus Credo Christian. Jalen Nunn will fire the 3, and that's way off. And that's why he generally doesn't shoot that shot. More of a driver, cutter off screens.
And you did mention it. A lot of their success is keyed in on how well he has been getting to the bucket. Yeah, again, not much of a shooter. He didn't really look to shoot at all in their semifinal game or last night.
But he's a good ball handler and a long 6'1". And an experienced player. The 12th graders for this team, McCall, Wilson, Futema, Kuzrenko, and Nunn. Fry off the dribble, 3, no good. Rebound. And that's why Jadian Smith doesn't have a ton of rebounds. He's just been tipping it to teammates. Nunn's got a chase. Drives baseline. Kuzrenko, tough catch, back up to Futema. They'll want Wilson, guarded by Olenek. Wilson double teamed over to Futema, open 3. Kaido, no good. Rebound, Nunn. Fouled. Will they give him the shooting at motion there? They will. And Jalen Nunn will shoot a pair of free throws. Nunn hasn't scored yet in this one, but he's got 3 rebounds and 2 assists along with a steal. Secondary ball handler duties as well.
There is so much attention that goes to Jadian Smith. You have to almost put 2 bodies on him just to get him off the glass. And you're right, he has been not getting the board count just because he's mostly been effectively tipping to teammates. Jaden Nunn had about 4 or 5 rebounds so far in this one.
Wilson's got 5 now.
Yeah, so everyone else is picking up the scraps that's created from the work from Jadian Smith. Because again, you have to at least put 2 bodies on him. You don't have really, your closest big is about 4 inches, 5 inches shorter than him. You have to, and the length is also a huge difference. You need to throw a couple bodies in there because he's so good at that tip drill, especially tipping it to himself, that you just have to respect his game.
And when you're doubling Kalen Wilson on the perimeter, like it's just a catch-22 defensively for St. Michael's in this ball game. You got essentially 2 guys demanding double teams, That leaves one guy to guard the other 3.
Yeah, and then the way they're shooting, too, you're leaving a shooter wide open that way.
Yeah, it's either going to be Futema or McCall when he's on the floor who's going to be open. Kuzmenko trapped in the corner. He walked, dragged that pivot foot. Tristan Kuhn's got 13 now to lead St. Michael's in scoring. There's Kuhn, good outside shooter. Hasn't hit one today yet though. Hellman looking to work on Smith. Jump hook, no, rebound. Again, Smith tipped it to Kuzmenko. He's getting a lot of like second, if there were like half sacks, like there are like, you know, like the way the sack rule works in the NFL, Smith would have a bunch of half rebounds.
Secondary rebounds like in hockey.
Yeah. Jinwoo Park checks in for St. Michael's. Probably to spell Hellman, along with Justin Juice Lee. The juice is loose, Zach. He'll bring out Olenek. McCall checks back in for Sa Hali. Wilson will sit. 6:35 to go. Futema shots. First one, got it. 71-48 the score. Ian Hidlay and the St. Michael's Blue Jags looking at top 50 points for just the second time in this tournament. Plenty of time to do it. Kinahan gets it to Lee. Justin Lee in the corner.
5 seconds.
5 seconds violation on Justin Lee. Picked up his dribble. Nobody came to save him in the corner there. It was Ty McCall defending. McCall will sit down. Grova Tajadini checks in. Elevator doors for Tajadini. 3-ball, no good. Running plays for the seldom used bench player. Smith missed it, got it back, out to none. Futema will reset, 22 on the shot clock. Futema running the point here. Smith, 3-ball, no good. Rebound, Kuhn's gonna run with Park. Tristan Kuhn inside, layup is good. Kuhn's got 15.
And he continues to be the one effective scorer. His outside shot not really hitting, but he's been getting to the hole really effectively. He's been getting out in transition very well and finishing in the fast break. Just a crafty player and finding his opportunities.
Foul's gonna be on Kaido Futema, his third. Just the first team foul on Sa Hali here in the fourth quarter. That doesn't sound right. Halfway through the fourth. 23-point lead. Kuzmenko stole it. Smith. That's going to be a double dribble.
You know he wanted that dunk.
We've seen Smith be a little awkward putting the ball on the floor a couple times, especially in transition. Tajadini in, Jinwoo Park out. A little mid-game coaching for Ian Hidlay and Jinwoo Park.
You never stop coaching.
Justin Lee. Threw it away. Kuzmenko for Tajadini. Tajadini's just going to call his own number, blocked by Kuhn. Carter Fry now. Fry off the dribble, 3-ball, short, rebound for Nunn. Jalen Nunn. Looking to take it off the dribble. There's Tajadini. Back out, Kaido Futema, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Tajadini, skip pass, none in the corner. Driving, spinning. Somebody's got to shoot. Smith got it. Good if it goes, but it doesn't. Here's Kinahan. 4 minutes to go, team down 23. Fry, no continuation given. It'll be on Luis Kuzwenko. Park, Wang, and Eunice Ozer. Wang will wait actually. In for St. Michael's. Time a call in for Sa Hali. Lee off for Ozer. Jinwoo Park. Kinahan. He'll fire the three. Got it. St. Michael's finally hits a shot.
2 of 12 after that third quarter. The outside shooting just has been kind to them in the last 2 games.
7 points here in the fourth now. Kuzwenko, tough runner, rebounded by Kuhn. 4th rebound of the game for Tristan Kuhn. Lee, back up top for Kuhn, guarded by McCall. Kuhn, what a finish over Jadian Smith. He's got 17. Timeout and subs for Sa Hali as they're going to bring in their bench unit. Up 18 here, 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, I think at this point both teams are content just to put out the players who don't get to play. Maybe you send out your seniors for their last chance. Maybe you send out the players who don't really get a chance to play all that much. Their last chance, that's everyone's last game. To let everyone get a sweat going.
They say one of the best things about this tournament is the emotions. These 12th graders playing in their final games. It's not unheard of to see both sweat and tears flowing at the end of these ball games.
Kind of hard to distinguish the two.
73-55. Sa Hali's going to coast to the bronze medal finish for a 12th seeded team coming out of the Okanagan and Kamloops. That's a win.
Yeah.
A win for both these teams, honestly, to be in this game.
Yeah, they did what no one expected from either of them. And so you have to give it to them. You can be proud with this result, although it doesn't really feel like it for St. Michael's. They didn't play their best 2 games to finish the season. They played very well the first 2 games, enough to get the victories, and they were there at the semifinals. They got there. Now they had the chance to play for 3rd place for a team that wasn't expected to do too much in this tournament to be where they are. Also, for same thing for Sa Hali. They played Charles Hayes as about as anyone else has during the course of this season, and they're going to be rewarded with a bronze medal for their showings.
That's Jackson Fitzgerald over for Harjan Sarone. Tajadini blocked, but a foul called. It'll be on either Lee or Wang. Tajadini's first free throw rolls in. A reminder, coming up next here from the Arena Bowl at the Langley Event Center, Howard Samura's got the 1A final. It's Credo Christian, led by Will Dykstra and Stephen Klein, against the the Kelowna Christian Knights, led by just a whole bunch of dudes between 6 foot and 6'4", and one of the best defenses in this tournament. They've won their games by an average of about 40 points. Credo Christian coming off the game of the week in any tournament, any of the 4 tournaments, a double overtime thriller to upset the number 1 seed Glen Lyon Norfolk School Griffins.
The only upset of that draw.
They overcame 39 points and 19 rebounds from the 2-time Vancouver Island MVP Chris Graham in what was essentially a battle of attrition, with 10 players fouling out, 65 total fouls. 3-ball, Jamaga got it. Hot shooting for the Sabres, and look at the starters celebrating on the bench for Sa Hali. This is a team that loves playing together, you can tell.
Oh, they were so excited. Jamaga getting in on the action too. This is the point where you see all the emotions, all the players who don't get to play get a chance to shine on the biggest stage. it's exciting for these teams. They've played so much basketball together. They've played for so long. To see someone get this opportunity, it's so cool.
Justin Lee for three, no good. If you see Lee hit a shot, get ready for a celebration from St. Michael's.
They want him to score so badly.
Ozer. Jinwoo Park battling on the floor. Possession arrow is for Sa Hali. 96 seconds left in this one. Sa Hali will win the bronze medal, barring like an act of God, essentially. Multi-ball. Barring a 22-point shot from St. Michael's.
They institute a rule halfway through. If you hit from half court, it's a 20-pointer.
Love it. Izzy Hellman's going to check in for St. Michael's. Tajadini, crossover on Lee. Floater. Nice shot by Gova Tajadini, the 12th grader. Eric Hembling in the game as well, the 12th grader. So we're seeing the seniors playing along with guys who don't see a lot of minutes like Jackson Fitzgerald and Harjan Sarone, an 11th grader. Ozer, sorry. Lee the head fake. Lee inside, spins, stripped. Hembling took it away. And there's Tajadini. Final minute of play here. Tajadini fouled. He'll shoot a pair. That's on Lee. Tajadini misses the free throw. Zach, let's do it early. Your player of the game?
It's got to be Caleb Wilson. The way he shot, just basically, and especially in that third quarter, put this game on ice for Sa Hali. So efficient. It's got to be him.
Caleb Wilson, 6 of 7 from downtown, 9 of 11 from the field, 26 points. Your player of the game, probably on the all-tournament team, probably on the first team as well. Jadian Smith also going to be on one of those teams, you'd have to imagine. Didn't get his double-double today, though, as it was just a lot of tipping the ball out to teammates for rebounds.
Saw a lot more of his post-game, saw a lot of the footwork, the savvy. But yeah, it's the way those two played was so key to Sa Hali making this push, making this run, getting the third place finish.
So coming up next, as Sa Hali will dribble it out with an 80-55 win. Third place for the 12th seed, fourth place for the 11th seed. And St. Michael's can hold their head high despite this loss, finishing fourth after a 12-21 regular season. Up next, the single A finals, Kelowna Christian versus Credo Christian. Howard Samura's got the call for you on that one. And then after that, Zach and myself are back with the 2A finals. It'll be the #1 player in the province, Liam McChesney and the Charles Hayes Rainmakers against the George Elliott Coyotes and Nick LaFontaine, one of the better shooters in this bracket. Your final score, Sa Hali 80, St. Michael's 55. Sa Hali takes the bronze medal. Little post-game medal ceremony coming up for you in just a moment here on TFSETV.ca.